everything you know about Star Wars is wrong. In this episode, the Force does not require years of training to use. Now, this all started with the whole Mary Sue argument with Rey, but has since spiraled to several different would-be Jedi, would-be Force sensitives. It has everything to do with people saying, well, no, that takes years of training, or that is something
only a
not
Jedi
even
master of this caliber could do a mind trick.
Not even a Jedi master can do this.
Who told you that?
And the basic premise is, guys, just because we haven't seen Jedi Masters do a thing doesn't mean they can't. Just because you've seen a newbie do it and not a Jedi Master doesn't mean that that they're doing something that a Jedi Master can't. But also, everything about the Force is instinct first, technical later. Some examples, even from Legends, I think it was Car Vaster who just largely trained himself in the jungle.
Oh yeah, Car Vaster is just that dude. He didn't even learn how to speak. It was just Force, and he led his whole group. You had people like Corran Horn who mind tricked an entire group of stormtroopers without knowing the Force, without knowing he was Force sensitive at all.
Yeah.
What about Bane? I started reading Darth Bane, the Darth Bane trilogy.
Yeah.
And the stuff that he did before he even went to the academy on Korriban. He was already doing stuff already.
Yes.
Honestly, and there's one specific scene in that book that sounds like your past, and I love the scene because it's so cool. No, he's like, if the people on that roof get to their cannons, we're screwed, right?
Yes.
And you take out all those people, and Lucia's like, I can take out like 2 of them, but they're gonna be moving. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard. And she's their best sniper, and Bane's like, give me this sniper.
He totally kicked butt with that. Yeah, I remember that.
Shinobi says Tenebrae conquered a Sith world untrained.
He was a baby when he killed his parents.
Yeah. Also from Legends, Knights of the Eternal Throne, Valen largely was on the sidelines while her brothers trained, and had massive potential. And then we talk about Ezra. Ezra, just out of instinct alone, wanted to save Zeb from Callus. Force pushed for the first time. That was the first time ever. He hadn't been training yet. And when Kanan saw that, he was like, "Your training starts tomorrow."
Remember when he jumped up into the ship? Like, you think he's just got hops like that? There's so many, people have been talking about Plagueis now that Plagueis is in canon. Same exact thing. Plagueis was making little kids jump out the window when he got mad when he was a child growing up with the Force, not knowing that it existed. Palpatine was ripping bulkheads off the walls to kill his family before ever training, before even... Actually, it was one of the weirdest scenes in the book because Plagueis asks him later, and he's like, I just knew I could do it.
Yeah.
No big deal.
We had a baby Rodian in the Clone Wars levitating, his was that a ball or blocks? It was a ball. The blocks are from one of the things in the Old Republic. We have so many examples of
Legends too.
Yes.
That's the big thing, is Legends. Like, all these come from Legends.
Yeah.
I mean, Anakin was using the Force before he knew what the Force was. That's how you know they're Force sensitive. They start using the Force. You look at baby Ahsoka.
Yeah. And we have to look at the message that comes from Obi-Wan in our first interaction with the Force in A New Hope, when he says, let go your conscious self and act on instinct. And what's the message that Qui-Gon tells to Anakin? Use your instincts. But the latest example of this debauchery, as it were, is Sabine. But people forget that Sabine was raised as a Mandalorian and has 10 years of training. Her low M count and her mental blocks is largely what kept her from using the Force. But she still has 10 years with Ahsoka and Kanan in training in its concepts and its applications. So when you finally get over that hurdle that's kind of like blocking you, you're going to be able to use it. So when she helps Ezra onto the ship with the Force push, or she's lackadaisically or haphazardly Force pushing stormtroopers with zero precision, mind you, or she pulls the lightsaber to her hand, that's completely reasonable, right? She's never doing anything on her own. She helps Ahsoka and Ezra open the door on their way in, and her pushes to the stormtroopers, like, she's not doing a Grogu where he's taking two stormtroopers and accurately and precisely smashing them together.
Smack them together.
Like she waves her hand, and like some of them stumble, and it's just like, that's not. Why are you guys getting upset over that?
And one of the things that we have learned from both canon and the expanded universe, but I think the Legends explains it the best, particularly in the Maul Shadowhunter book. He's actually chasing. There's a Jedi Padawan, and I can't recall her name, but one of their droids, she has to reach through the Force to flip a switch to turn the droid off. And that was taxing. For some reason, people get it in their mind that pushing something heavy, because it's powerful, that's what you have to train to do. No. You have to train to be precise. You have to train,
optimization,
specific,
basically.
Exactly. And so that's what we mean by it's instinctual first. Force push, probably the easiest thing you'll learn. But trying to hold a cup, one of my favorite parts of Shadows of the Sith is Luke, and all of his power talks about how difficult it was to hold this one individual still. Because he's so powerful, he doesn't want to crush the dude. It's the articulation that is more. It's easier to throw a ball than it is to pick up an egg. You know what I mean?
Oh, which is a good analogy, because you can pick up a ball and throw it as far as you can throw it. But did you throw it to your teammate that has the glove that wants to catch it? No. So that really is the difference. Like, I can pick up a guitar and strum its strings, but I don't know. Well, of course I know, but example's sake, anybody can pick up a guitar and strum. Are they making chords? Are they making music with it though? And that's where the training comes in.
And that's why I actually love using music. I think music is the best example for the Force. That's how I personally see the Force. Being like a damn baby writing symphonies. You know what I mean? And you can have someone else who trains their entire life to get to that point. So
there's prodigies for a reason.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we watched Luke get bodied in Empire Strikes Back. 6 months later, he bodies Vader. Well, does that take training? How long did Vader train? Should that matter? Should that be a difference?
Also, even in the context of a prodigy, it's not that they're just not doing it without training. It's just they absorb it so much quicker. So a prodigy that looks like a sheet music and is learning about music theory can probably read all of the concepts and be like, oh, perfect, and then can sight read right then and there. They're not just like they walked out of the womb and be like, give me a sheet music and let me compose something. It's not how it works. Someone in our live chat says Sabine also has Jedi Mandalorian lineage through Vizsla, right? Not direct ancestry, but it's the Ren clan is of the House Vizsla, and so a lot of them are descended from the Vizsla family. There's even a Force and Destiny episode of her and Tristan visiting Tar Vizsla's statue and kind of saying, we used to come here to pay homage to our ancestors. So I don't think by way of Satil Shan to Bastila Shan, there's an ancestry, but by virtue of them being in the general House Vizsla, there is a connection there.
I mean, as far as the hereditary nature of the Force, it's all pretty nebulous. If you think about someone's aptitude of being a prodigy, That's what your imp count is, right? If you have high midichlorians, it means that you have a high aptitude for these things. Having a low aptitude doesn't bar you from possible. It'll probably set your ceiling quite a bit lower, and maybe most people would have given up because of how difficult the road is.
You made a good point about lineage and bloodlines, but most people don't realize that Anakin was the first of the bloodline. There's no like entire Skywalker lineage that dates back to like the first Jedi. Like he was the first, Luke's the second, and Leia's the second, and that's not a huge bloodline to fall back on if you're looking at hereditary power and like generational, carryover. And in the same regard, Mace Windu was the only Mace Windu. Yoda's the only case where we don't really know, and like I like the theory that Yoda's species is named Jedi, but everybody in the Jedi Order that we meet from the prequels on, they're all just like the first person in their family. Ahsoka comes from not a Force sensitive. We meet her in Tales of the Jedi, and she's a normal mother, right? Everybody that we meet, normal lineage. Ezra, normal lineage. Sabine, Mandalorians, but still non-Force sensitive lineage. So there's not a lot. I mean, Palpatine doesn't come from a lineage. The second one, like people are like, she's powerful because Palpatine, and he's powerful bloodline. Like Palpatine's the only one in his family.
Palpatine's dad was just some dick.
Right. But in any case, yeah, the Force does not require years of training. It doesn't take a Jedi Master to do any of that stuff. It only takes training to be good at it.